By.
All right.
So take it away.
Kaysar, welcome, brother.
How's it going, Ara?
Doing well, man. Doing well. It's been a long time since we've seen you on there, man. It was great to see you on this season, dude. And I wish we would have seen you longer.
I do too. I honestly, it's bittersweet. Part of me is just trying to be thankful for everything that I've been able to be a part of so far. I would have never imagined coming back after so many years. So I want to focus on that and all the good things. Obviously, we can always look at it from a different perspective and say, I wish I would have lasted longer. It was such an incredible time, but try not to go there.
I know that's the tough part, man. And what a week for you. I mean, physically, mentally, the whole nine, going, it's like I'm sitting on this block. What's going on? What goes through your head when you're in that position of, this is like do or die. I got to make this happen. And just take us through that as fans watching from our couches. What goes through contestants and house guests' mind knowing that I got to try to pull something together in this short amount of time?
Look, it's do or die. It comes down to the wire. Sometimes you just have to really understand the dynamic of what's going on in the house and see if you can pull off the vote. There have been incredible house guests in the past have played social games that were able to upend where the house is and what's going on and save themselves. I was going to try to give sort of a last-ditch effort with a speech in the end and see if I could pull something off, and at the very least, leave them with a lovely parting gift. So I think I did that at the very least. Obviously, I'm sitting here now, and it didn't work out entirely the way I wanted, but I'm pretty happy with the outcome nonetheless.
We're gonna get to that a little deeper in a quick second, but honestly, like with your ride or die Janelle out of the house, it looked like that target that was on both of you grew 10 times just on you, and it's like, guys, what do I have to do to prove to you, like, it's good to keep me because of A, B, C, and D? It's like nobody wanted to listen to anything.
No one wanted to listen to anything. And I've tried to forge good relations with everybody. And I feel like people liked me on a personal level, which was astonishing because, like, did I have good relationships with people? Yes. Did they respect me? Yes. Did they know that I was a free agent, as I told them, and I didn't have any alliances? Yes. And yet they were just so enamored by the fact that I had to leave this house, which goes to show, with all of those things considered, they were so deathly afraid of me. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm just, I should probably take this as a sign of, flattery. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You can kind of wear it a little bit as a badge of honor. Like, I guess these guys are all freaking out. So, I mean, there's that part of it at least. Because, like you said, Janelle is out of the house. Hey, take me and let's talk, and maybe I can help you get further and help me get further in the same process. And they it's like they wanted none of that.
I had those conversations with just about almost everybody within the house. I said, okay, so she's gone. Where can we go from here? And I got nothing. And I thought there was a chance. It went both ways. I was thinking 50-50. They might leave me alone and say, okay, where can we go to from here? But they would not let up, not 1 second. They could not get they would not let their foot off the gas.
Is there anyone in particular, not named Memphis, who surprised you by coming up to you early on wanting to work with you, only to be afraid, back away, and back out, that maybe we didn't see or we don't know?
No, I think there was never an opportunity. Look, I think Davon obviously said that she wants to work with me. I got the sense that Bailey did too, obviously. And so did Ian. I think Ian had a sort of an emotional time towards the end because he didn't want to see it end this way. So there was a number of people, I think, that wanted to work with me. I think the one that was the most shaky for me was Tyler. I felt like he was being genuine. He said, things could be different. Let's just kind of see how things turn out. Even David wanted to work with me, but there was just never a moment. There was never a catalyst that allowed, I think an HOH would have definitely changed things. I was hoping that I was going to be able to do it without one. And my position was, why wait? Why can't you work with me now? Why do you need an HOH? Like, at that point, it's like, when you have nothing to lose, then you want to work with me. It doesn't really add up. So that's kind of what, and it makes sense, like, looking back, because they obviously already had something going with other people. So they didn't want to jump ship to go to nothing. So it makes sense.
And then you have Enzo picking Christmas as the replacement nominee. And I mean, the writing's pretty much on the wall at that point. Then all of a sudden, this was cool to see as a fan of the game. And I'm wondering what your input on is on as well. Ian looks like he was asleep for the first however many episodes we've had so far, and finally starts to come alive a bit and gives you this information, this fuel for the fire, hoping to kind of shake things up because, you know, so far there's a lot of these all-stars that are in there that aren't doing a whole lot of anything, man.
I know. And that's what was the most frustrating thing. And you know, people want to see a show, you know, I liken this to regular season basketball versus, you know, the dunk contest. You want to see a little bit of a spectacle, and this is not a normal season. People have us come back for a reason. We're big personalities with big potential. And so I was hoping to be able to see a little bit more above the fold. I understand there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and that's okay, but there needs to be a little bit more dynamic gameplay. And that's the part that I think got me most frustrated. So I was happy to see Ian step up a bit. It took a little coaxing to kind of get him, you know, to come around, but he got there, from what I can tell. And just to really make sure that that was going to be the case, I had to leave with a speech.
Can we talk about Dani and Nicole for a sec? Because their faces during the final few seconds with you in the house when you're going to hug them and they're kind of like, "Meh," and then the other one, like, what? Were they that uncomfortable with just being like, it's a game, let's say bye? Like, it looked really like, woo.
Yeah, like they were not happy at all. And I got that reaction out of Cody. I was just like really laying into him, and I was like, anyway, you know, this is all in fun. He gave me a big hug, and he's like, I
saw that, yeah.
So that was kind of the response I was hoping for. People just need to lighten up. Again, this is all-stars. This is not our first, round at playing this game. You would think, like, again, you take the court and everyone's just there to have a good time and put on a show. And it's not, again, we're not just hamming it up for the camera necessarily, but you've been through this before. It's like, don't take it personally. And I try to let people know the speech was intentionally over the top because I was having fun with it. But
awesome.
Yeah. So there was that, and then so they were like, I looked over at them and I'm like, ooh, they are not happy. Their arms were crossed. They got kind of an icy vibe, and I knew that I had kind of rubbed them really the wrong way, and I was okay. I was really okay with it.
Now, upon exiting, first of all, you sit down with Julie, and she reveals Memphis and Christmas are in this alliance of all alliances, spearheaded by Memphis, and your eyes literally like shot laser beams through our TVs right at us because you had no idea. Take me back to that second last night, because that was just a shocker, obviously.
Yes, because I didn't have a clue. Like, it was such a shock. Like, there are probably cases in which you can kind of say, like, if I was to like to hear Bailey was in another alliance, I'd be like, okay, I mean, that makes sense. They were always kind of waffling, and it was hard to get answers out of them, and so on and so forth. So I guess I'm not too surprised. With Memphis, he does such a great job playing coy and dumb. I was literally, we would, Janelle and I would just trash talk and say, this guy has no clue. He's literally just here laying around, and he refuses to believe anyone's in an alliance and that there's nothing going on. He just has the worst gameplay in the world. That's why it was so shocking, because I couldn't have been more wrong.
Now, speaking of the games of these four house guests, I'm going to give you their names, and I want you to rank them 1 out of 4 in terms of their gameplay. Memphis, Tyler, Cody, Enzo. Give me a little bit about their gameplays and what you think, how you want to evaluate them, and then who's kind of tops in that and who's at the bottom but still, doing well. 1 to 4. Memphis, Tyler, Cody, Enzo.
So Memphis was a 0 for me, bottom of the barrel. Now he's at the top. He's just earned my respect based on how he played the game. So he's at the top for me. I think no one is even targeting him at this point, from what I can understand by the time I left. So that's that. Cody plays an incredible social game, but I think it does put a target on his back for those reasons, because he's just very visible. Not only does he win comps, but the difference between what Memphis is doing and Cody's doing, Memphis is pulling some strings, but is completely looking like he's not doing a damn thing in the house. Whereas Cody seems like he's not pulling the strings and he's just helping out, but it looks like he's driving the ship. Worst position to be in. So it leaves him extremely susceptible. I think Tyler is an incredible competitor. He's extremely nice. It puts a target on his back because he was a very recognizable figure coming from his season, and having done a lot. But it might make him the most dynamic. He might be, because of that, he might be willing to do a lot more and switch things up just to save himself. And then who's the last one? Enzo is sort of historically has been a great social player. So maybe people will be hard pressed to kind of make this association, but Paul is a great social player too. And so you find Paul finds himself in these predicaments. He turns up the heat with his social game, and then everybody loves him again and forgets that they want to put him out, leave him out to dry. So I think that Enzo will likely be able to play a similar game from the standpoint of he is extremely loved, and his personality is a very well used distraction.
Now, if you were given a shot, let's say they do one of these first 5 things and you do a competition to kind of get back in, it's a 2-parter. Who do you align with first, and who has to go first?
Right now, if I was to choose as it is today, knowing the composition of the alliances, or if I was to start from scratch?
Knowing how things are right now. That's not easy.
Memphis has to go, knowing what I know now. And I would align myself with Tyler.
Got a couple of questions from fans because I put it out on social media that I was going to be speaking with you. So we'll go quickly to this one from Jessica. Do you forgive Memphis and applaud his gameplay?
Absolutely. Yes.
This one's from Mark. Janelle mentioned in her exit chat with Julie that you didn't really want to work with a lot of the new school players. Is that true? And if so, why?
No, that's not true. I just felt like the time had passed. I would have liked to work with Cody and Tyler. I just felt as though the opportunity never presented themselves, and there was this like distrust, or it was awkward always. And so I always went to them and I'm like, come on guys, let's not turn this into a tit for tat. Like, I'm coming after you, coming after me. There's so much more game that needs to be played. Let's get sophisticated about this. And they never wanted to have an honest conversation about it. And I would have definitely welcomed it.
Lorena says, what do you hope your diehard fans know about Kaysar the person and Kaysar the gamer after this season of Big Brother? What do you want them to take away from your time on the game?
It's one and the same. Anyone that has interacted with me, whether it's in my professional life or my personal life, will go, yep, that's him. He intense, passionate. I never played anything up to the camera. What you see about my passionate sort of beliefs and what I stand for and what I absolutely associate with, even sort of the association with, or the desire for justice for the Black community. That's not something that I decided to just let me go play that up on TV. Oftentimes, and I'll just put it out there, people are like, will tell me, why do you care so much? That's the Black community. That's their thing. And because I get so emotionally riled up about it. And it's not because of them. I cannot stand by and see those things happening. So what you see is what you get. I don't adjust my character or play somebody else.
And Fazim is asking, will you do Survivor, and can you convince Janelle to do it too?
I'll do it if she does it.
Good to hear. Okay, we're going to end with a quick little speed round, Kaysar. Are you ready? The first name that comes to your mind when we ask these quick questions, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Which house guest is way in over their head this season?
I feel like Ian's having a hard time, and it's overwhelming for him. And I think he's an incredibly bright, probably one of the brightest people in that house. I think he's just having a challenge right now. So I hope he's able to overcome that.
Who is the sweetest soul still left in that game?
I would still say that's Ian. I thought it was Nicole when she was in the house. If she was still in the house, it would be her, but she's gone now.
Name the house guest you feel never quits gaming and will see it maybe hurt their social game moving forward. The house guest, the one that never quits gaming.
From a social standpoint, I think Dani's gaming hard. I think you can kind of see her scurrying around the house, trying to like shape the hearts and minds of house guests. Is very evident.
If you could give one house guest a little whisper of advice, who would it be and what would you tell them right now, the ones remaining in there? Which one and what would you say? A couple of words.
It would be Bailey and Davon, and I would say, I already told them that they're coming after them. I would let them know that Memphis is, and I guess the biggest thing that like irks me is Christmas is so close to them, and I left them an advice. I was like, you need to trust Christmas, that advice. And I would love to go back and let them know that that's not the case.
Who's playing the best game?
Memphis.
And who needs to step up and it's like, oh, come on, this is all stars.
Oh, geez. Everybody.
All right. And who does Kaysar want to see win it all? Come on, give me a name.
So there's two answers to this. If you were to look at it from a gaming perspective, I think just because I've been incredibly impressed with what's just happened, I would say Memphis. Or even Christmas, because she also had me fooled. And then from because I'd love to see her win, and I just have become really fond of her over time. And I feel like it would just be such a meaningful thing for her, is Davon.
Kaysar, we loved you on the show, man. It's upsetting that we're talking to you this soon, but you had a great run, dude. And hopefully this is not the end of you on some sort of, show with the network and whatnot, because we'd love to see you again, man. So thank you so much for taking your time to do this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this time with you.
Awesome. Take care, man.
Thank you.